As you begin your entrepreneurial journey, it's vital that you build your team of trusted advisors, including accountants and attorneys. A number of legal issues must be considered. First, you'll want to determine who you're working with. Understanding how your corporate attorney works with other service providers, including your CPA and a patent intellectual property attorney, is critical. And making sure tasks are divided and nothing slips through the cracks.
So the most important things when startups are working with multiple service providers, whether it's multiple lawyers who may have a specialty in one area or CPAs who are working with attorneys on a particular transaction, is just ensuring that you specify what the scope of their work is, so they're not veering into other transactions and fees increase. But then also just connect the service providers directly. It helps the co-founder get out of the middle. It's a lot more efficient when the service providers are talking.
When finding an attorney, make sure they have the specific skill set you need. An employment attorney may not handle intellectual property matters, and an intellectual property attorney should not help you with financing transactions.
So there are lots of different types of attorneys that are helpful for founders. You can have a general corporate practitioner who will kind of be your quarterback for formation and financing and contract matters. An employment attorney who helps you with employment-specific matters. An intellectual property attorney who will help you with patent, trademark, and copyright. But the most important of the three is probably just a general corporate attorney who's your go-to contact, who can help you manage a broad variety of legal affairs.
Make sure you find an attorney who you trust. Ask for referrals. Make sure their experience is relevant to your needs. Find out what they handle versus a junior attorney. Additionally, ask other trusted advisors and fellow entrepreneurs about who they recommend.
So the most important research that founders should be doing before selecting an attorney is just talking to other members of the community, whether that's other founders or potentially investors. So naturally, you'll receive references from the potential attorney themselves, and they're going to steer you to some of their clients who obviously say great stuff about the work that they've done together in the past. But make sure you go outside of that pool of references and validate what the attorney is saying that their experience level is and how they've done transactions in the past by connecting with other members of the community who may have attorneys themselves. They may have good or bad experiences with certain attorneys, and just getting those external validation points.
As you narrow your selection process, make sure you align with pricing model, working relationship, and expectations.
Defining the expectations at the outset is super important, just so everybody's on the same page. So making sure that you have an understanding of the timeline of a transaction so nobody's surprised, the price for the services that are going to be delivered, the scope of the services that are going to be delivered. So defining expectations in all different manner of the inputs, right? Who you're going to be working with, what the cost is going to be, what will be provided.
Once you begin working with an attorney, it's of paramount importance that you disclose as much as possible so they can give you meaningful and complete direction. This will ensure an open and proactive relationship.
I think the most common mistakes founders make when working with attorneys is censoring information. So I think the best thing that a startup company or a founder can do is actually over-disclose and make sure that you're giving your attorney as much context as possible for transactions and letting the attorney filter through all of the information versus giving bits and pieces that the startup or the founder thinks are relevant. When you don't give an attorney the full picture, it can be really difficult for them to appropriately paper a transaction or generate the appropriate documents. So the biggest mistake is probably just not providing all of the relevant information to an attorney for a particular transaction.